let's just do up through the gears, just so we've done it. Yeah. Oh, let's take 5 minutes. Take 5 minutes to have a look at her. She is gorgeous. 2016 ZX10R, just picked this up, just jumped on straight away. It's cramped. But I have just stepped off of a supermoto. Let's deal with the boring stuff. The mirrors, really good. They really stick out quite far and you can really see behind you rather well. I mean, this bike is 13,700, so it's under 14k, which actually puts it a really good value compared to the other range of 2016, the latest generation of sports bikes. It's a nice looking bike. I've always liked the ZX-R. I've always been a bit of a ZX-R fan. I mean, I've had a ZX-R before. I used to have a ZX-R 750 many moons ago, the H2 model, and I loved it. It was a great bike. I've not ridden another, I've not even ridden another Kawasaki since then. I'm not even sure I've even ridden another Kawasaki since back in the 90s. Yeah, mid-range bottom end is actually rather good. For a bike which is tuned for mental top end, they've actually done a good bit of work on there. When they've revised the whole engine design of this bike, that they've redone it, they've changed the suspension, they've changed the frame, they've changed everything on this bike. I don't think there's anything on this bike which they've left alone, apart from the dash. The dash, I'm not too sure about the dash. I mean, all the R1 and the Panigale all have a nice fancy TFT screen. You've got this. Well, in traffic, actually, it's fine. I've got used to the position now. I've managed to wrap my legs around my head. I should have limbered up before I got on it to get me back into that sports bike riding mode. The brakes, this has got uprated Brembos on it. This has got the M50 calipers, the same as the Panigale has, and it's got 330mm discs, which is bigger than any other production bike at the moment. It's even got the proper Brembo master cylinder as well, so they've spared no expense. They've spared no expense on this. Gotta love that quick shifter though. Oh, I hate sports bikes in towns. Horrible. Horrible affairs. I mean, it's all part of the test, isn't it? What's it like around town? It's like any sports bike around town. Horrible. Oh, this is like the worst place for a superbike, in the middle of town. You know, this isn't their best environment. Let's get it out of town. Let's get it on the open road. That's quick. Jeez, she's quick, and it was gonna be quick. It's a nigh on 200 horsepower bike. It was gonna be quick, but that, oh yeah, hell yeah. So this bike, it's got all the goodies, 6-axis gyro, traction control, cornering ABS, quick shifter, launch control. The only thing it's missing is self-control. It's got none of that. Well, I haven't anyway. Jesus, she's a quick one. Let's do that again. The front wheel is just bouncing. That's not even full throttle, that. I've not even given it full throttle. It's got more power than you would ever possibly need on the street. More power than I could ever possibly need on the track. But it's so smooth. It is so smooth. Do not pull out. I mean, where will it end with these sports bikes? Every year they just keep getting quicker and quicker. Without the wheelie control, I think it'll be unrideable. You wouldn't be able to give it full power because you can't keep the front wheel down. You've just got to rely on that wheelie control, keeping it in check. Woo-hoo! Oh man, it's a hell of a bike. I love it already. It is a hell of a bike. Top gear, 45 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour. That's not so bad, is it? For a bike which is geared quite high like this. Oh, what else can we say about apart from smashing? Electronic steering damper. The faster you go, the more it tightens, if you like, for want of a better word. Electronic trickery. This bike is full of electronic trickery, loaded with tech. It's got more tech at its disposal than Scotty. Brakes, really good. They are really good. Top of the line M50 Brembos. 330mm discs, hauls you to a stop. No bother. Nay bother. It's really stable in the corners as well. Really stable. I mean, it's not an easy thing to do, to make a bike agile and stable. It's like contradictory. But I don't know. Let's slow down a bit here, Jesus Christ. I think they've done it. This is lovely. This is really, really nice. Really, really nice. With a pipe on it, oh. Oh yeah, he loves it. He loves it. What's the repayments like? Mrs. Chops will kill me. Mrs. Chops will kill me. She is absolutely beautiful. I mean, looks wise. I mean, these are always really, really a Marmite bike when it comes to looks. But for this year, I think they've taken that criticism and they've prettied up the nose and they've prettied up the tail. It's not going to make the ladies' knickers fall away just by looking at it, but it's a bike which I really like the look of it. I think they've kept it very Kawasaki looking. Oh, they've not gone too mad with the styling. They've just sorted out the ugly parts from last year's model, I guess you'd say. Tidied up the headlights, tidied up the tail. I think the fairings are exactly the same. Just prettied it up a little bit, made it a bit less spot ugly. I'm not sure I like the expanse of black, like black everything, black. I think a nice, and that's just a cast yoke, a nice billet alloy top yoke there would just finished it off. You know, it's built to a budget, this bike, and they've spent the money where they need to spend the money on the actual components, the Brembos, the suspension, the electronic development. You know, you can see where they've spent the money. I mean, they could have stuck a couple of grand on the price and then you had your nice billet top yoke and slightly fancier finishings, but I don't have a bit of spare change in the bank. Who cares if you've got a billet top yoke or not when you've got 200 horsepower under your right glove. Epic, epic, epic. It's just epic. Weave her left and right. It's not the engine is really smooth sounding. It's not noisy either. Like the ZX10R can be a bit noisy and a bit, oh god, what's that noise, you know? It's the last thing you want on a bike, premium bike, you know, 13, 15 grand, is to think, oh god, the engine, sounds like it's going to fall out. It doesn't mess about, this bike. Oh Oh, out the way, Mr. Discovery. You've discovered the ZX10R at your backside now, haven't you? It's easy. It's quite an easy bike to ride, I'd say. Oh yeah. Oh, getting a little bit crampy, now. It does give a little bit of weight on your wrists. I don't think it's possible to pick a standout feature of this bike. It's just as a package, it works incredibly well, and for the price, also, it's like the cheapest 2016 model around, and for the money and the amount of goodies it's got, you know, it looks like they spared no expense, but they've still got it put through at a reasonable price. So, you know, big up Kawasaki for that, for delivering a top-end product at well, I'll say baseline price, but at a reasonable price point below the competition. So they deserve a big up the Kawasaki Massive for doing that. There are some areas to it which, you know, the screen is a little bit, shakes around a little bit. It's got, you know, like I say, I've mentioned already, I mean, the top yoke is, the finish on it is just a bit of car stuff. So I think Kawasaki have done it. I think they've done exactly what they needed to do with this bike. They've brought it at a decent price point with all the equipment, all of the updates the old bike needed, the cosmetic updates. The only thing which would have been nice is a nicer dashboard. Brought it up to date with a nice TFT screen, but as they say, you cannot have it all. Oh, well, I've really enjoyed my time on this bike. Big thanks to Bournemouth Kawasaki for giving me the opportunity to ride it. I love you Kawasaki, and I love your motorcycle. If I had £13,500 knocking around under the mattress, I would be purchasing one. Absolutely would. It's a big Lambchop thumbs up from me. Lambchop thumbs up. It's a sports bike and I love it. It's Bernard Matthews' favourite bike. It's beautiful. Brembos, look at those Brembos.